The number of times I find a theory that he said in gobbledygook, but it's true. I think that I think he's been dealt a bad hand in the brain department. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thoughts, Karl?
Well, your brain's in two bits, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I wonder if one half is really good, the other half's messing it up.
Yeah.
That's
That
how I
could be
feel
the case. That
sometimes.
could be the case.
Yeah. Well, it is split into two. Yeah, and they are responsible for different things.
Yeah.
It's like these sort of families where there's a kind of really bright kid and then a sort of wayward child who just gets into drugs and stuff. Sort of like that up there
Yeah.
in your head.
Because you have quite sort of out there nebulous thoughts, and you've got a lot of common sense, haven't you?
And just having that other sense of, like, this is dodgy.
What spider sense?
Just that sense where you just go, I don't know why, but something's telling me we shouldn't be here. When you go, all right, let's go. And you move from it, and you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You don't know what's decided that. You know, it's like when you're lost. A part of my brain's got me lost, but then there's another bit that I don't know what it is, where they go left. And you do, and then you go, remember that time when you called me and I said I don't know where I am, and I couldn't concentrate?
Think of that! I called him. I went, God, what are you doing? I don't know where I am.
What do you mean you didn't know where you were?
I got lost. I went
in London
wandering.
you got lost?
Yeah. And I went wandering, and then, you know, I
It's
was
when
like,
he first moved into his new place. He was walking back from his old place to his new place, and he didn't know where he was. He
How
tried
can
to
you
take a
ever
short.
really get lost in London though? It's a cabbie.
well, yeah, I don't want to do that because you feel bad pulling one over and then saying, where am I?
Yeah, they don't appreciate that, do they?
But I found my way back, didn't I?
Yeah.
But you told me
20
one
minutes.
time that you much prefer getting lost. You love wandering around and getting lost.
Yeah,
you said
go-
that's much better.
go
Yeah,
around
it
the
was a cold
cul-de-sac.
day. It was a cold day. I just wanted to be at home. I had things to do. There's a time and place to be lost.
Well, go on.
Well, a place
What's
you
the
don't
place?
know.
What's
and
the place to be lost?
Somewhere you don't know.
Right, good. Okay,
And the
specific.
time?
The
Time when you're not in a rush.
Right.
But that time I was in a rush. And I was
And-
cold.
So a typical argument in your head is what? I'm lost. I'll do one side of the brain, you do the other side of the brain, okay, in your head, okay? Karl,
What?
this isn't where we should be. You want to go home, didn't you? This isn't your house, because it's a field. You live in a house, don't you? Why are we standing in a field? This isn't your house. You're meant to go home, but you've walked into a field.
No, but that wouldn't. I've never been that lost. When I'm walking across a field, at the edge of the field, I'd go, hang on a minute, this isn't right. I wouldn't get in the middle. I wouldn't go that far. I'd go, right, I definitely shouldn't be here.
You did once. You were in the middle of a field, and your dad had to rescue you
Yeah,
and carry you
that's when
through
I was
the
a kid because I was reading as I was walking. That's,
And he never read again.
but there's another sense. I was in the middle of nettles there.
Yeah.
I'd walked. It was at my brother's wedding in Cornwall, and I was walking near a cliff edge.
Reading a book.
And okay, so okay. Fucking Karl, I know you're enjoying this book. Can I have a word with you? Just look past the book a minute. It's a big drop.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened, and then
Right.
that's when my other senses went, hang on a minute, I'm being stung. Load of nettles and stuff. And I just had to wait there for ages until my dad sort of thought, where's Karl? I was there for about an hour and a half.
You showed a book.
Fuck me like a cartoon.
But why are you wandering off reading a book when it's your brother's wedding?
No, this was like, we were in, I think it was St Ives in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in St Ives. And just, you know, it was a nice day and that. There was no telly in the place. It was a horrible house. It was haunted, actually. No, honestly.
No, not honestly. It wasn't haunted. There's no such thing as ghosts. So you saying honestly it was haunted means fuck all.
It's the weirdest place and weirdest sensation I've ever had. I spoke to a woman called Mrs. Battersby,
Right.
who sat on my bed keeping me up all night. My mum came up, she said, you look shattered. I said, yeah, I haven't had a kip all night. She said, why? I said, I've been talking to Mrs. Battersby. She said, who's that? I said, no, some old woman. Now, I can't remember it now, but that's what I did then. And then,
Sorry. So Mrs. Battersby didn't exist. Is that what you're saying? She was the ghost.
yeah,
Wasn't the landlady.
No, there's no landlady. It's a big house, about 12 bedrooms in it.
Right.
Dead cheap to stay there because it was a wreck. My
Were
mum
you
and dad
ill?
went
Were
out
you
one
ill?
night.
Did you have flu at the
No,
time?
I had nothing like that. I just...
So you were sitting up, but you were awake, and you were having a conversation with Mrs. Battersby.
What did she look like?
I can't remember. I can't even remember having the chat now.
Right,
But
so-
at the time, I was like, oh, she just doesn't shut up. Chatting all night.
So you don't remember this happening? Or you do remember it happening?
No, I remember that, like, if I see my mum now and I mention St. Ives, she'll go, oh, yeah, Mrs. Battersby. She remembers coming in because she was older than me, wasn't she? So to
Who?
her, my mum.
Was she?
Yeah.
How old was Mrs. Battersby? She was older than both
She
of you.
was old because I'm calling her Mrs. Battersby. If she was my age, I'd probably say, oh, it's Susan or whatever.
Right, sure,
You
Miss
call
Bat-
older
Miss
people
Battersby.
by the
Yeah.
surname, don't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she kept me
How
up
old
all
were you?
night. You know, I'm thinking of pictures at the wedding.
Why do you have to go through other things to just have a memory?
How old do you reckon you
why
were?
I don't understand why you haven't got direct access to your memories.
How old do you reckon you were?
Your mum was older, though, yeah?
You must have a vague idea of when this
I'm
event
thinking
was.
about it now. I'm thinking. I'm
Okay.
picturing the picture of myself at this wedding.
Okay.
And how old are you? What are you doing?
How tall were
I'd say
you?
I look about.
How were you?
I'd say I look about 7 or 8. Looking at the picture.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So Mrs. Battersby is chatting away to you. You don't remember what she said, but you do remember having the conversation.
No, he doesn't remember it
I
at all.
don't remember the chat now.
Well, then
So-
why are you telling?
It's
You
not
must
your
remember it
memory.
because you're telling us about
It's not
it.
your
Because it's a
memory.
memory. My mum's reminded me of it.
Yeah, but all it says is, this is so far removed. This is hearsay that your mum said you spoke to a ghost once, and you don't even remember the ghost.
Mrs. Battersby.
No,
Yeah,
you
no, but
remember
you
the
don't
name
remember
only because
her.
your mum reminded you of
In a
it.
court of law, if there was a ghost court, they go hearsay, thrown out of court.
Right.
You
yeah.
don't have a memory of Mrs.
No,
Battersby.
look, I know that when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I ate a beetle. I ate a beetle because I thought it was licorice. Now, I can't remember that now.
You can't remember that, but you know it happened because your mother told you it happened.
Exactly.
Right. But the fundamental thing is that we can believe. We can believe you ate a beetle, right? Because that is something that could happen in real life.
But-
what we're questioning is that you spoke to a ghost.
I thought it was licorice. What sort of beetle was it?
Just one of them standard beetles, just the black shiny one.
Thing is, right, a couple of years ago, we were in the Ivy, and the food came, and there's a big blob of wasabi, right? It was like called an Oriental hors d'oeuvre, right? And I looked over at Karl, and he started going, drinking water. I said, what have you done? He said, I heard that. I said, that was a blob of wasabi. He said, I thought it was one mushy pea.
That's a classy restaurant where they're serving one mushy pea.
Well, they do that, don't they?
Wow.
Small portions. It's all trendy, isn't it?
I love the fact that it's exactly the same thing. They've swapped beetle for wasabi
Yeah.
and licorice for pea. You see things, you see something, you
It's a
think...
good job you remembered that anecdote, though, because he doesn't.
Exactly, yeah. In years to come, we'll be going, ate some wasabi once. Did you?
Yeah.
Well, according to Ricky, I did, yeah. I was in the Ivy. I thought it were mushy pea.
So hang on, I just want to go back to Mrs. Battersby because
What
you
other-
confidently said it was
most
it
haunted.
was haunted. It was the most haunted place.
Yeah.
But you've got no real evidence for it because even you claim you had this encounter, you don't even remember it.
But you don't remember everything in life,
But you
do you?
supposedly had a conversation with a ghost.
I know, but I didn't know. When I was younger, I
But you
didn't think
remember
that
the
was a
specifics
ghost.
of an ant walking around.
Yeah, so you thought, so I see. If you'd have had the memory, it would just be a nice old lady on the end of your bed all night.
Right.
And then...
Then when I mentioned it, my mum was saying, what do you mean, Mrs. Battersby? Who's Mrs. Battersby?
Right?
When you're a kid, you're not terrified, are you?
No.
Nothing scares
I mean,
you.
I'm beginning to think, who the fuck is Mrs. Battersby, I must admit. But
So, yeah, that was... but it was a weird place. I mean, there was no telly. All they had for sort of company was a calculator.
Carl, you are the strangest little man
That's
that's ever
extraordinary.
lived. Company had a company.
No.
There goes Carl with his friend. What's his friend? Oh, it's a little...
It's a Sanyo 4197G.
I love that. That's amazing.
Oh, calculator, do that boobs thing again.
My mum and dad used to go out. I stayed in there.
Just shots of him with his calculator on the beach. My only friend was the calculator. Oh, God. Just imagine shots of him in Vietnam just carrying Tommy.
When the batteries died, they had to have a funeral for him.
His barrels are all over the floor. Oh, fuck.